Hello. How are we? Every time I do something like this, I've got a wee routine that I go through. And what I normally do is, I go in the shower, and I come out the shower, and I'm standing there, and I'm drying myself in front of the mirror. And my wife's lying on top of the bed, and she's looking at me. And I'm looking at myself in the mirror, and I say, look at that, my hair's getting thin, my eyes are baggy, my belly's hanging over my waist. I says, pay me a compliment, darling. She says, your eyesight's fucking spot on. What I normally do is, when I joined the police, right, first thing I did when I joined the police, they put me in the Oatlands, and just down the road there, and I was working with this guy. They said to me, are you working with Geordie Gunn? And I says, aye. He says, Geordie Bang Bang. He's off his head. I says, you're kidding me on? They went, no, he's a nutcase. Apparently he's a fruitcake. He's at the end of his service, and he's just sort of gone there, he's away. So I thought, well, I'll just see what happens. So we're out in the Oatlands, and we're walking along, and it's 3 o'clock in the morning. And what you normally do is, you would go round the back and you've got a torch there and you sort of shine up and you have a wee look to make sure that nobody's broke into a place. And he would be doing the fronts. And then we would do it alternatively. So I'm round the back and I'm just checking this place, right, it's fine. And as I start to walk through at the front of the close, I can hear something. So I stopped, switched off my torch and I look outside. And here's I call him Rambo. Here he's standing like that against the building. So I thought, oh, he must have heard something, so I could get my first jail here. So I'm watching him, and I'm just a young guy, and I'm watching him to see what he does. And the next thing, he takes as if he's taking a hand grenade off his chest, pulls a pin out, throws it up the close. A couple of seconds later, it goes bang! And then he jumps in front of the close and he starts to shoot. Bang, 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 and shooting away like mad. And I'm watching him, and I'm terrified, because I think if I go too close, he's going to shoot me. But the worst thing was, later on that week, we go into the Gorbals for our tea. And I'm in there, there's only him and I. And I'm sitting down there quite the thing. And I've got my wee flask, and I've got my magazine and my sandwiches, and I'm eating away, munched away, reading my magazine. And he comes walking past me. And he walked past me, and he goes right behind me. And then I hear him saying, right, you're not going to feel a thing, this will all be over very quickly. And I thought to myself, who's he talking to? And he says, right, in and out, that's it, you're not going to feel a thing. So I turned round, and here he was putting a tea bag into a boiling cup of water. And I suppose if you're a tea bag, you've not got much chance, because when he pulled him out, he started to strangle it with a wee bit of string. I goes into the office this night, and the sergeant says to me, Harry, throw a civvy jacket on, I'm taking you on a stakeout. I couldn't believe my luck. I phoned the wife, I said, you'll never believe this, I'm only a week in the job, the sergeant's taking me for a meal. Easy mistake. But at that time, we didn't have radios. And so what happened was, we're after this drug dealer. So one guy would be away down at the bottom of the street, and we would be strategically placed all along the road. So then, as soon as he seen the guy coming into the street, he would make a noise, so he'd go, woohoo, woohoo, and that would alert the second guy. And the second guy, he would say, right, okay, he's got the word. So he would alert the third guy, go, and start barking, right? But we knew it was his bark. And then it would come to the third guy, and the third guy would start going, and he'd make a noise like a monkey. But if you come from Prospect Hill, well, you'll know there's loads of monkeys about there. So it was new to place. And then it came to me. So I couldn't do all these fancy things. I just put my fingers up to my mouth and went, he's coming! Unfortunately, I alerted every Ned in a 3-mile radius. So by the time we got down and we hit this guy's house, him and his wife and Wayne's are out the back door, into a fast black. They're all sitting in Glasgow Airport, departure lounge, going to Ibiza to start a new life. So that was it. I wasn't allowed to do that again. And I went to a call this night, and it was down in Govan, me and this guy, we got a call to go to this call. It was a disturbance, and it was a guy and his girlfriend fighting, and she's got 4 Waynes under the age of 5. So we go there, but by the time we get there, the guy, he's away. So the girl says, right, come inside, come in. Don't let my neighbour see you, come in. So she takes us inside, and it's got a big long hallway. So while we're standing in there, he's taking a wee note, right, okay, hen, what's his name and that, taking a note of it all. And I'm just standing there, quite the thing. And then I feel something hitting my feet. So I look down like that, and it's a wee coloured ball. So I thought, oh, one of the kids must have rolled that to me. So I thought, okay, I'll demonstrate my old football skills. So I flicked it up a couple of times, and then I volleyed it right up the hallway. At which point the woman went, the Wayne's hamster! Poor wee Jinky had been running all the way to. But After a wee bit of whiskey, I was all right. I calmed down after that. I was fine. And then there was loads of, there was this big cop, right? He was what you call accelerated promotion. And he'd been a sergeant very early, and knew he was becoming an inspector. And he came to the office, and he's working in the same office as me. And I got a phone call, and it was this wee woman, and she says, "Well, I'm needing assistance," and that. And she wouldn't tell me what it was, put the phone down. So I says, "Right, I better go out to that." And he went, "What is it?" I says, "It's a wee woman looking for assistance." "I'll do it. I'll come with you." And he's a big chap, 6'2", a tall boy. No dressing table, tall boy. Right, he's 6'2", and he's got a brand new, what we used to say, just out the box. He had the hat on like a dude's landing board. You know, he was really smart as anything. So we go round to the door, and he goes, "I'll do it." So he chaps the door, and the wee woman says, "Who is it?" And he went, "It's the police, madam." She went, "Who?" He went, "It's the police." She says, "How do I know you're the police?" He says, "Well, I can assure you, madam, you just phoned for us, and I'm here." "Ah, but how do I know?" So he thinks for a minute, and then he goes down on one knee, and he opens a letterbox. And he says to her, "If you open the other side of your letterbox and look out, you'll see me." So she opens the other side of the letterbox, and she looks at him like that, and he starts to point to his hat and his braid. "There." And she goes like that and lets it go, and she shouts, "Away you to hell, you're too wee to be a Polis." There was a guy, this guy gave us a call this night. We go away up there, go up to the house, chat at the door. He says, "Well, come in." I say, "What's the problem?" He says, "I think there's something up with my wife." So we go into the room. His wife's lying there, not looking too good. So we came back out, get us the police casualty surgeon. Police casualty surgeon arrives. "Where is she?" "She's in the room there." Police casualty surgeon goes in. Comes out a few minutes later, he says to the guy, "For goodness sake, man, your wife's dead. She's been dead for about a week. Did you not notice anything different?" He says, "Well, the sex was still the same, but I did notice the dishes piling up in the sink." I was actually out on patrol this time, and we were actually doing the summer holidays thing. And during the summer holidays, a lot of the schools get vandalised. So what they did was they said to us, "When you're out in the cars, take a wee run into the schools, make sure there's nobody there that shouldn't be there, there's no vandalising anything." So we said, "Right, okay." So I'm driving up towards Castlemilk this day. And as I'm going up, I see this guy, and he's standing in the school, and he's got this black cowboy hat on. And there's this girl, and she's outside. We're talking about the 70s here, right? And she's outside. She's got a wee boob tube thing on. And she's got a tan midriff. And then she's got a wee pair of hot pants. Quite fetching, by the way. And there's another guy there, and he's got his horn on her bum, and he's trying to lift her up. And this other guy's trying to help her over the fence. So I thought, right, I better go and have a wee word there and see what the score is. So we go back round and we stop, and I shouted, "Ho, what are you doing in there?" So the guy with the cowboy hat, he says to me, "We are German and we stay in the school, yeah?" I went, "Oh, you're Germans, staying in the school. Your wee girlfriend's got some pair of knockers." And she turned around and she went, "Oh, he's fucking German, no me." Exit stage left. Beat duties. Beat duties is a thing we all did. And I was actually going through a shopping mall this day. And as I'm walking through, this old woman comes out to me and she says to me, "Excuse me, son, that's ridiculous." I says, "What is it?" She says, "There's a girl walking up this mall there, and she's got her bare breast exposed." I says, "Right, don't worry, hen, I'll find her." So I went away down looking about, and sure enough, she's pushing one of these strollers and just walking up, and her bare breast hanging out. So I went up and I says, "Come here a wee minute, hen." I took her to the side, and I says to her, "Look, you can't walk about like that." She says, "What?" I says, "Your bare breast exposed like that." And she looked down at it, and then she looked at me, and she went, "Oh shit, I've left it away in the canteen." And actually, my wife took it away into the doctor's the other day there, and she went in there, and the doctor took the weighing off her, and he gave him a wee examination, and they put him on the scales, and they weighed them, and they went like that. "This child's totally undernourished and underfed." He went, "Breastfed or bottle fed?" She went, "He's breastfed." He went, "Strip off to the waist." So she strips off to the waist, and he has a wee cup of feel and a wee knead, and he twigged. And he went, "No wonder that child's undernourished and underfed." He says, "You've absolutely no milk in there." She says, "I know, I'm his granny." But thanks very much, Doctor. Thanks very much. I'll see you in the bar. Thank you.